but I noticed it was kind of off. So I didn't put it on. Hey, everyone. I just always jump in. I don't wait for people, but I need to wait. Hello, hello, hello. I'm going to hide you just real quick, Vanessa, and I'll bring you back up. Hey, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to the third segment of Wives Mind Your Money. We've been having a dynamic time these last couple of weeks. We had Dr. Constance on the first week, and we really talked about the money story. We tackled the foundation of, why do you even think and do what you do regarding money? And she gave us some really great tips as to what we needed to do to find out where we were financially. On last week, my girl, Khadijah Carroll, who I've known for over 15 years. She came in and she's talked about stewardship. What does it look like for wives and wives in waiting to steward their money well, especially believing wives, women that are of any faith? You know, if you say that you love God and you serve God and you utilize the Bible as one of the tools that you live life by, we are supposed to be good stewards, not just over our money, but every aspect of our life. And Khadijah was able to break down how being a good steward, not just over her money, but also her time, got her to the place where she is now successfully, both financially and otherwise. Tonight, I have my girl, Vanessa Gant, the money architect, going to be here live and popping. Listen, y'all, go ahead and grab your coffee or whatever choice to drink you want to grab tonight. Grab your notepad, grab your pen. You want to take copious notes and you want to be in the room. I want you to ask questions tonight. I want you to be engaged tonight. I really want you to get something out of the conversation. We're not just having this conversation to just talk. Listen, I don't have time for that. Vanessa doesn't have time for that. We want solutions. We want to see you implement the things that we're sharing with you. We want you to see you take these things further, whether that's hiring a coach or, hiring a financial manager or getting your money management in order. We want you to take some actionable, sound steps when you leave here. So if your goal, matter of fact, let's do this. I want you all to share with me, what is your goal? What is your money goal over the next 6 months, whether that is for you to save $5,000, whether that's for you to pay off a credit card, whether that's for you to obtain your credit score, whether that's for you to start a budget, whether that's for you to start putting 10% to the side or 5% to the side. I want every single person that's on YouTube, that's on Facebook, that's here in StreamYard. I want you to share with me, what is your money goal for the next 6 months? My money goal for the next 6 months is to save an additional $5,000, and I am I'm over halfway there. Well, that's from January to June. So I want you to share with me, what is your money goal? We can talk about objectives, how we're going to get there later. But for right now, I want you to share with me, what is your money goal? Is it you understanding your money? For those that are part of the Wives Who Win community, I shared a template with you some time ago. It was your money story template. I basically walked you through, what is your money story? Why do you think about money the way you do? What happened between the ages of 0 and 5 and 6 and 10 and 11 and 15 and 16 and 25 and so forth and so on? What has shaped you? What has framed you? What was your money script? What was your money themes growing up? And that will tell you a lot about why you treat money the way you treat it. I will tell you a lot as to why you are influenced to do or not do certain things. So with that said, put that in the chat. I'm going to bring my girl Vanessa Gant on. I'm going to have her introduce herself, and we're going to get right into it. This is going to be a organic conversation. It's going to be a juicy conversation, and we're going to talk about money, one of the favorite topics that many of you like to talk about. So without further ado, welcome, Vanessa.
Hey, Trail. Thank you so much for having me. And hello to all the beautiful women that are with us tonight. So I am Vanessa Gant, the money architect, and the CEO of Provision Accounting Solutions. We're located in Summerville, South Carolina. Like everyone else here, I'm a wife. I'm a wife and a mom, juggling both of those things. And I'm glad to be here. Like that's my background. I'm a wife and mom, the CEO of Provision Accounting Solutions.
Yes, absolutely. And if you all were not at the When Women Gather brunch, Vanessa was one of the speakers at the brunch as well. So I've known Vanessa, girl, I don't know how long we've known each other for. It's been a minute. I've been able to see her business grow and evolve, and her doing some amazing things, not just in the South Carolina area, but nationally. And God is definitely moving and blessing her and her family. And I'm excited to know her and call her a friend and someone that I can connect with. So with that said, Vanessa, let's just get right into it. Tell us a little bit about your money story. You heard me talking about the money story and, why people treat money or have the relationship with money that they do. So what is your money story? Can you share that with us?
So I like to say that our money story is sometimes attached to trauma, right? And my money story is that I was a teenage mom. I had my son when I was 15, and I always needed to make sure that I had enough. So my money story is that I'm not a risk taker or a wasteful spender because I always knew that I had somebody to depend on me. Um, Again, that's a trauma response, so that's not always a good thing, right? People say, "Well, you don't spend money, so that's a good thing." So that's my money story, and I would always ask myself, what is my biggest fear when it comes to money? And my biggest fear when it comes to money is not being able to provide for my family and my children. It's that's my biggest money fear. I don't want them to ever have to worry about anything within reason. Within reason. So I'm always the one that I'm gonna have something stashed over to the side because I'm scared to be broke. I'm scared to be broke financially. I am scared to be broke. Like, hands
Wow.
down, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That spend the check and get it right back don't work for me. That spend the check before I get it don't work for me.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That man, this is good already, Vanessa, because it can go two different ways. My sister is like that. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about our money story real quick because it's so relatable. So my sister is like that because my sister was a single mom. She was the first because I was a single mom as well, but she was a single mom of 4 children. And she wouldn't mind me sharing this because she shared her story several times on different platforms, and she struggled for a long time, and it was hard. It was very rough. Just imagine single mom of 4 children. And now she's doing very well. She has probably more money than all of us. And she does not spend money. It's like she is scared. And sorry, sis, for saying this, but I tell her this all the time. It's like she's scared to spend because she doesn't want to feel the way she felt before when she did not have it. And if we're not careful, our trauma and things that we've gone through will have us making various decisions. And I'll share mine in just a minute. So it would either have you getting whatever you want because you never had it, or it will have you to hold on to it so tight-fisted to where you don't spend at all. You don't get to enjoy yourself. You don't make investments regarding yourself. Even if you need a new wardrobe for work or something, you won't do that because you're just scared to spend. And that is a dangerous place to be, right? There has to be some balance. Now, we grew up in the same household, and I also was a single mother. However, my money story was totally different because I saw my parents get whatever they wanted, even when they didn't have it. But I didn't know they didn't have it
Then.
at that time, right? I learned later on. So what I saw is that, hey, we can get whatever we want. And I was a shoe person, and I grew up, me and my girlfriend really close, and we got the latest and greatest outfits and shoes. And I would ask my mom to get it. I would beg her to get it. I would cry when she would say, "Oh, I don't have it," to where, I would make her feel bad. I guess I was manipulative at that time. I didn't know it. And to the point she would do it. And that's how I grew up, and I got in relationships and I got whatever I wanted. I've always had a good job, just throughout my year, even prior to education. I just always been in the field, and I've always made really good money. And guess what I did? I got whatever I wanted, right? So that was always my mindset until, honestly, I'm just gonna be very transparent. Very recently here, I'm like, wait a minute, this is not the life. Yeah, we make good money. Yeah, I have it, but this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. I really got to start changing some things. And I'm 43 years old. I'm just being very transparent, right? My husband on the other side is this extreme saver. We're two polar opposite people. And so we grew up in the same household, but we still have those two different money stories. And as you said, if we're not careful, that story will shape and mold us. And if we don't catch it in time to realize, like, well, wait a minute, I'm doing something wrong, or I am doing something that's counterproductive to my goals, my aspirations, and my dreams. And this is another question for everyone. What habits are you doing right now that you have, and behaviors that you have that is counterproductive to your goals, your dreams, and aspirations? I was talking to one of my mentees today, and she was sharing with me her fiance pays all the bills and things of that nature. and she was just doing whatever she wants to do with her money because it's just money. It's free, it's free, right? So she could have been saving like 10 to 20, maybe $10,000 to $20,000 within like a 6 to 8 month period. But she wasn't thinking those terms because for a long time, like you, Vanessa, she was a single mom. She was struggling and she always had to work since the age of 15, 16 years old and always had to pay bills. And so when she got a break and didn't have to pay, she just spent it all on herself. So that in itself, like, listen, we have to really understand how those stories and those scripts will have us to respond when it comes to money. Let me share a little bit because I asked individuals early off what their goals were, Vanessa. So I'm going to share a few of these things. Tanya said to pay off credit card debt and save at least $3,000. Let's do it, Tanya. Marie said start saving accounts and have $10,000 by the end of the year between my husband and myself, knowing my money, period. Where it's going, how it's streaming. And listen, you can do it. You can do it. Yes, that's my husband and he's a saver. I'm over. Listen, girl, and I don't spend on clothes. I'm like, let me hire a coach. Let me go on a trip. Like I'm not a wig clothes purse person. I like to spend on stuff that I feel that I do on stuff that I feel is going to get a return, but at the same time. But anyway, that's another conversation for another day. I'm just on a tangent right now. So with that said, how did you change your money story to be what it is today? So I understand that there's probably still, you can correct me if I'm wrong, some hesitation there, but you couldn't get where you are now without making some level of investments and coming up off some money. So what kind of shifted or helped you to change so that you could be where you are now in this place of success?
Okay. So what shifted and changed for me was I was like, girl, you got to stop this. This foolish. It ain't gonna get nowhere. Seriously, I had to talk to me. Like I really had to talk to me because I am literally, and it doesn't help that I'm an accountant too. So it's like I need to account for all of my money. I wouldn't even like close and reconciliation if I couldn't find the penny. I'm the girl that finds the penny, right? So I definitely knew where all of my money went down to the penny. And I actually started budgeting per pay period. So I knew exactly where all of my money was going to go. So I was like, okay, girl, you still got to live, right? So there was some things at that time when I was still building that thing, building everything together where I would put some money in there, to be able to eat out, to be able to shop, put everything in this bucket. But that still wasn't loose enough. I was still living like really, 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 really tight. Until okay, so fast forward, right? What's happening right now is I live in moderation. I don't think I do it on purpose. I just think it happens with the way that my business cycle is set up. I'm usually very busy. The busy season in my business is from October through April. But it's really heavy from January to April. So I don't spend much money, right? And there's this term we use. I'm outside in the summertime. I'm outside, right? I'm usually spending money, but from January to April, I'm really like harvesting that money because I know when I usually will spend it. But I also have some non-negotiables. I'm not full transfer. I like some high-end things every now and then again. So, I'll do that. But I love trips. I love trips. I love to sleep well when I travel and I like to eat well. So those are the things where my money, sometimes go. But even still pulling that back, not going every weekend, doing a trip once a quarter instead of once a month. Yeah, I tried that once a month thing. I quickly realized that I wasn't about that life. Financially,
listen,
I wasn't about that life, but I still say that even with that trauma response of wanting that security, just understand that you still have to live. Like you don't work every day, not to give yourself anything, right? So I have learned that, of course, you tithe and you charity the way that you want to, but you still need to give something for yourself. So I remember when I was newly divorced, because I'm, second time married, newly divorced, I was saving $10 a week out of my paycheck. And nobody knew. Well, no, that made sense to nobody. But you know why it made sense to me? Because in January, February, and March months, the electric bill was higher. I actually had the money in my savings account to cover the higher electric bills. So my thing is definitely for anyone that's listening, start small. Like start small with your changes. And also start small with the steps to your goals. If your goal is to be able to save the amount of money that you want to save, always put a time on it. Just don't say, well, I want to save, $6,000 this year. This year is way too long for you to do that.
Yeah.
Way too long. Just say, okay, I'm going to save $6,000 for the year. This is how, if you get paid weekly, this is how much money I need to put into that savings account every week or every 2 weeks when I get paid. And it's out of sight, out of mind, automated,
Yeah.
and let it go where it needs to go. Don't deprive yourself, even if you do have a trauma response to your relationship with the money, whether it's you being very conservative and very tight with it, or you just spending it because you can get it right back, or it's just money.
Yeah.
And I know that we're saying that it's just money, and money is not, no one wants to put a feeling in money, and money doesn't make your life, but we have to be honest with ourselves. Money does play a part in making our life.
Yeah.
Because it allows you to live the quality of life that you want to live. It allows you to live where you want to live, to eat what you want to eat, wear what you want to wear. So your relationship with the money is so very important. Still to this day, I've come a long way. I've grown financially. So a lot of the same money habits are money structure habits I had when I was quote unquote broke. I still have now when I'm not so broke, right?
Yeah.
I, I
Yeah.
still I still do. I still have my Excel spreadsheet. I still update it weekly. We still have our money meetings weekly. Well, I have the money meetings, and I'm sure we'll talk about that later. I
Yeah.
have the money meeting, and I share the spreadsheet with my husband because we realized what our strengths were. His strength is not paying the bills, but it's my strength to make sure that he is educated on what's happening
Right.
with the bills, right?
Right. Right.
So I still carry that same pattern. So you have to build a relationship with your money, even if you're in a not so good space. It's not going to correct itself by you not paying it no attention. It's only
Yeah.
going to get worse.
Wow, that's good. So it's not course correction. And I like the fact that you said, you have to start small. I think sometimes when we have these audacious goals and we want to save this massive amount or, pay off this credit card, because my husband tells me, and I realize that I'm an aggressive bill payer. So like I'll have a car and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna pay $1,000 toward that card. And girl, I'm like, why did I do that? I should have paid 250. You know what I'm saying? So I'm getting out of that mindset. Yes, I believe in paying off my debt, but I also believe in savings. I know some financial managers will say, no, just pay off debt, pay off debt. But I don't know if I necessarily subscribe to that. I will pay and I will pay over, but I'm not going to put all my money toward debt, but I will put it toward more saving and investing and things of that nature. And that, again, that's just my personal philosophy because I try the pay down the debt and pay it off. But to me, I feel like I'm putting so much money toward it that I needed that money, and I'm going back to get the money that I overpaid on a card. So rather paying $300 on that card that was $50, maybe pay $150, and that's just again my money, my mindset.
And I love that you did that because I would like to say, especially the economy that we're in right now, aggressively paying down. I think that we should be strategic in how we're paying down our debt, and that we all should get into the habit of having a certain amount of cash available.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because this is my this is my philosophy. What I don't have in cash, I have available in credit. But
Mm-hmm.
every time the economy turns, people are tightening their credit limits and slashing credit limits. So you definitely could have a card right now that has a $5,000 balance, and you're going to pay the $5,000 balance because, like, okay, I got that out of the way, but it's still available to me. And tomorrow they slash your limit to 250
Exactly.
because
And
they
that in
are
real life
doing.
happened to me. Yeah, that real life happened to me and messed me up. Well, it didn't mess me up, but I'm like,
It did
wait,
because it
why
wasn't
did
in your
you?
plan. That wasn't
Right.
part of your plan.
Exactly. And my husband has that philosophy. Like, he's like, listen, no, we're paying the minimum. He may give a little over, but
Mhm.
he's like, I'm not giving creditors all my money. Like, no, he banks, he saves. Like, this is what we're doing. So, I'm learning that. I'm, digressing with that and just making sure that I'm being very wise and being very smart. And even wives out there, again, I didn't think anybody shared with me their habits, like what habits and what behaviors do you currently have that's counterproductive to your goals. So if you're saying you want to save a certain amount of money, if you're saying you want to make a purchase, a big purchase. Like, what are you doing right now that's going to help you get to that place? I, like you, Vanessa, I love comfortability, where I stay and what I eat and things of that nature. And I had to, in learning how to really scale back on some things. So if I go out to eat, okay, I can go out to eat and I can spend $25, every other week. But I'm going to go to the grocery store and I'm going to buy my food and I'm going to cook. I literally take my lunch to work every single day. So, different things that we have to start establishing different habits, healthier habits that's going to help us to reach our certain goals and aspirations that we have surrounding our money. So I want you guys to put that in the chat for me. What are some of the behaviors you have now? And this is not to condemn anyone, but this is a session to help. We're all here to learn. We're all here to grow and evolve. I don't think any of us are at the place that we want to be at in every area of our life. So this is a teaching moment, not just for you all, but also for me as well. I have a chat here in the comment. Let's see. To pay off credit card and save $3,000. That's good. Yes. Let's do it. And again, we'll talk about objectives of how to do that a little later, but let's do it. So I want to talk a little bit about mindset, Vanessa, because I know that there is a connection between wealth, people that are wealthy in their mindset, and people that are not. So let's talk a little bit about what that connection is between mindset and money and why that's so important to identify that mindset.
Well, the mindset, I feel that a lot of us, what our mindset is in, it's in abundance, or that we have to have a lot of money, right? And I really want us all to understand it's not the amount of money that you have, but it's what you do with that amount of money that you do have. And here's my thought in business, even if it, as it aligns with my personal life, if I'm not handling my money right, then I feel like an imposter working with my clients.
Yeah.
Right. And if I'm not handling my money correctly, how can I look over at my husband and say something to him? When I say my money, it's our money. But like, right. if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, and I know better, right? And why am I expecting him to do something that I'm not doing?
Yeah.
And when we're looking at money, we have to look at money. A lot of times we look at money with our shortcomings. Well, I don't have enough money to do this, or I don't have enough money to do that. We have to start thinking and changing our mindset with money with I get to, right? With the money that you do have, I get to provide food for my family. I get to provide a roof over my family's head. We get so focused on what the lack of money doesn't allow us to do that we don't appreciate what the abundance of money does allow us to do.
Ooh, girl, you're talking right. Come on, the money preacher. I know. Listen, but this is so relevant. I just saw Gabby chime in, Kay chime in, hey, Maria chime in. Listen, this is such a relevant conversation because we don't look at it like this. Money is a vehicle. Let's just say that. I want you to write in the chat. Money is a vehicle. Money is a tool. And we have to understand what is the purpose of the money. Like you said, I get to. And I want everybody to really fill that out. I put that up here on the screen. I get to do what? As a result of you having access or having the money that you have and the money that you're making and the money you're able to bring in, what do you get to do? I get to live stress-free. Come on. The Bible says money answers all things. I think it's Ecclesiastes 9 and 12. Can somebody fact check that for me? It's in Ecclesiastes. It says money answers all things. And you said it earlier, it allows us to live well. And I believe that we should live well. The Bible says that God has given us all things that pertain unto life. That's natural, and godliness. That he wish above all things that we may prosper and be in health, even as our soul prospers. That's 3 different areas of prosperity right there. That when we give, it shall be given back to us, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. So the Bible talks about money 800 times or more as it relates to money in itself. So money was very important. Many of us have various hopes and dreams and aspirations of doing a lot of things. And we cannot do that without money. We cannot just depend on a credit card or credit or someone else. Those opportunities will come up, yes. But I believe that the better stewards we are, Vanessa, over our money, then other people will pour into us. That they will see, that God will allow them to see that this person deserves it. If I sow into her, she's not going to just go buy a pair of shoes. She's not going to just buy a wig, because we like our wigs and stuff. Hey, I like mine too, right? But she is going to use this money for good, whether it's that to give, whether that's to sow, whether that's to invest. So we have to get in that mindset. So I want everybody to say, what do you get to do as a result of having money? Money is a vehicle. Money is a goal. I get to what? What do you get to do? I get to live without stress. Money was a stressor for me, and it should not be. We had these affirmations last time. Money flows through my hands easily. Let's see what I had. I'm going to speak some of these affirmations. We should be able to say these daily. I am debt free. I owe no man anything but to love them. I live in abundance. Money hunts me down. Money follows me and is easily attainable. I am the lender and not the borrower. I am out of debt. All my needs are met. I have much more to put in store. I have a healthy relationship with money. Money flows through and in my hands. We have to be able to declare that and not just speak in words, but we have to apply. Okay, if I'm saying this, what behavior, what mindset is going to help me to live out these affirmations? Okay. Yes, Ecclesiastes, 10 and 19. Thank you, sis. Okay, Gabby says, I get to live comfortably and provide for my whole family. Yes, money is a vehicle. Money is a tool. That's what you're saying. Okay, I get to take my time. Ooh, listen, I get to take my time back. Rachel says, I get to be debt free. I get to live and make an impact in life and others. Listen, there's so many things, Vanessa, that I want to do. I'm sure so many things that you want to do. And it's going to take money, a lot of money. I have big goals. I have bigger goals. And it's going to take, I want to go to Zimbabwe and the Philippines and do mission work and all these things. It's going to take money. So I don't have time to be out here with money, doing things that's going to squander my money. Okay, this is good. So y'all coming in, come on, keep on coming in and telling me what you get to do as a result of that. So let's go ahead and move on. So Vanessa, why is it so important that we're having this conversation? If you would just share the significance of talking to these women here, these wives and wives in waiting, and why it's so important that they're creators of wealth too, and not just depending on their spouse's desires or vision. Because a lot of times women get married and they depend on their husbands. And I've seen the correlation of unhappy and unfulfilled marriages with women not necessarily doing well or having to actualize her dream and her aspirations. So why do we need to have this conversation and really educating the women? I know we have a lot of boss chicks out there. I know we do, but we do also still have a segment of women that, whose husbands are doing very well and they're just kind of riding on his coattail.
So this one is near and dear for me. And when you said we got a lot of boss chicks, being a boss chick can be very much so exhausting. And I'm here to tell you, I'm that one that that's exhausted. I needed to my trauma experience, had built me to always. I always had this thing in the back of my head. I'm always going to be able to take care of myself, right? I'm always going to be able to take care of myself financially. That's not one of the things they say that, I don't want to depend on my husband, but it was this thing that I had it deep rooted in me that I was going to be able to contribute to my household on a level that makes me feel like, quote unquote, I'm carrying the weight too. And let's just be honest, the way that the world is set up right now, we need two incomes in the household. Even if it's not for the financial operation of the household, that other income can be saved. Because if the past 2.5 years have taught us nothing, anything that can happen will happen and can really disrupt our lives.
Yeah.
So I do feel like two great individuals make a good union, meaning that woman should still have her own personal and financial identity. That doesn't mean that, if your husband has everything financially taken care of, that you don't need to work, because your family still needs your income.
Yeah.
If you're able to contribute monetarily to it, if your life, allows you to do that, I think it's a great thing. But even so that we as women can feel like, if I wanted to go do something nice for my husband,
Yeah.
Without having to dip into that money. I can. If I wanted to go do something for myself now and I'm not working, I don't feel guilty from taking money away from the house to go do that. Having that financial independence. And I will tell you, I have a personal situation very close to me where the husband was very much so the breadwinner, very much so taking care of all things financial, and he's now fallen very ill, and his wife doesn't know how to take care of any of the financial business.
Yeah.
Her income does not, measure to where his was, and they did not plan accordingly, not for this, but just for life emergencies in general, to have money saved. So when we're talking about women, I believe it's our duty, it's our job, it's our responsibility to, to have a sense of financial responsibility, financial identity, individual financial identity of our own, or to at least be having that conversation if we aren't bringing in anything financial with our husbands, to make sure that we have a buffer and a plan in our budget that allows us to set money aside for when things may happen.
Wow. Listen, that's good. That's good. Having a plan. I like how you said, being in a position, even if you're not working or even if you don't make the level of income that your husband, but technically today, mostly you see women are the breadwinners in the household for a lot of people, right? But even if that's not the case, and you may not be financially where you need to be, it's important that you can add value to the marriage relationship and that you can be a contributor. I want everybody to say, I am an asset to my household. Put that in the comments. I am an asset. We want to be assets and not liabilities. My husband, he was just teasing, but probably for real. He was like, if I come to you and I needed $3,000, would you be able to give it to me? And I said, I can get it. He's like, no, not credit. Like, would you be able to give it to me? And people were just joking around. But that's like an eye opener. Like if something were to happen to your spouse or your significant other or your household, would you be able to say, babe, I got it. I got you. I got us for the next 6 months. I got us for the next year. Because things happen so fast. A perfectly healthy person can fall sick or die or lose their job or anything can happen. Or a woman, are you in the position to pick up the slack? Come on. Are you in the position to pick up the slack? Are you in a position to carry the family through if you had to do that? Are you in a position to contribute to a goal that your spouse may have, or a dream or a vision? We don't want to see our husbands, our significant others have to go out there and work so hard and labor so hard just to put a roof over our head. I feel for those husbands whose wives are, what do you call those, gold diggers, that just wants a lot of stuff. And this man has to go out and work just so she can drive the car she wants to drive and so she can have the clothes that she wants to have. I'm not saying anything is wrong with that, but if he is exhausted from doing that, and that's what y'all life look like, that's not productive to your future goals as far as a couple is concerned. And that's not sustainable on his mental, his emotional, his physical health. I believe that both people should be working at some point. Maybe you may not both be making 100,000, but at least you're bringing in 50. What are you bringing in to help the household? Even if he never asks for it, you don't pay any bills. What do you have in your house? The scripture tells us about that. What do you have in your house? Anything you find your hands to do it with all diligence. So what business can you possibly start? What hobby can you possibly, start that can bring in some level of income just to help out just a little tad bit? Even if he said, I don't need your money. Okay, bet. So let me put this $500 a month to the side just in case. Who's this says, I am an asset to my household. Thank you for that. That is why I have to start my savings. I don't hurt what we already are paying. Absolutely. Big girl goals. Yes. Help, hire help and bless others. Absolutely. I get to okay, I already said that one. I am an asset. That's right, ladies. I am an asset to my household. That is very much where I want to be. Help me get positioned. Please, we got you tonight. Yes. I am an asset. I was going to say something else, Vanessa, but I can't remember. I think it was on the lines of, I don't know. I can't remember. So let's go to the next question. This is good, y'all. I'm enjoying this conversation. This is the last money conversation. So make sure, go ahead and tag, share, and invite. If you see somebody on your Facebook page or YouTube or whatever, they need to be a part of this conversation. I want you to make sure that they are a part of this this conversation. So let's talk about some of the pitfalls and traps, Vanessa, or roadblocks that you perhaps see women experiencing. You did talk about one with your friend, and I say a roadblock because she did not position herself to prosper or position herself to be prosperous in that moment. But what are a couple other roadblocks that you may see when it comes to women obtaining wealth? We can talk about mindset here, or fear, procrastination, lack of clarity, lack of education. I think that's also that's a gap too. And I do see, when I say education, I'm not talking about formal education, I'm talking about informal as well. But I do see women that have lower levels, and science proves this as well, lower level of education overall do make less money. So what are some of the pitfalls and roadblocks that you see, Vanessa?
One of the first and major ones is we see too much.
We write this in the chat. Come on.
We see too much. You log on to social media and you see, like you said, you see this person with a new wig, you see this person with nice, with nice nails, you see this person just bought, a Gucci bag and they just went on a trip and they're doing all these nice things, but you don't know how they're doing it.
Come on, girl.
You don't know how to look. I've been there, done that, can write the whole book, eat the chips, and fold up the bag on it. I am telling you what I know, right? So we're seeing too much. But what I want you to know is that you seeing too much doesn't mean that you have to instantly move in that moment. You can say that's something nice to have. I remember when all of my friends had these big 2-story houses, and I had a single wide mobile home. It wasn't my turn.
Come on.
It wasn't my turn.
You got to know when your turn.
It wasn't my turn. But my turn came, and it was all well. So instead of us seeing too much, let that be a motivation for something that you want to do at another time when you are more stable. When it comes to going back to the mindset and the lack of education, or let's call a spade a spade. No one talked about money when I grew up. Right. All I knew was that my mom was raising 3 kids on government assistance, and I was never going to get government assistance because I was going to work and take care of my own kids because I needed more money than that. Yeah. That was it, right? I needed more money than that. So what I want you to, even though no one spoke to you about money, I want you to, and even if you aren't able to talk to your spouse about money, I want you to stop that. Find a way to make that conversation happen. Just because you may not be bringing, maybe you're a stay-at-home mom, maybe you are that wife or that fiance or that wife in waiting where your husband or your soon-to-be husband is taking care of everything financially, but that doesn't mean that your hands don't need to know what's going on.
Right.
You still need to know what's going on. It's not a thing of control from either side. And when we talk about, my husband and I talk about this openly with a lot of people, so this is still fine. When we think about the balance, I have more than likely always been in a position where I made more money, but the benefits sucked. So he always was in a position where the company that he worked for gave the best benefits. It's somehow when you put them together, we were neck and neck, right?
Yeah.
So don't, whether it's you or your husband, don't think that because you have the lower paying job that it doesn't still bring the same level of value into your household. I want you to confront your fears with money. I want you to find you a calendar, and I want you to write the due dates of all of your bills on the calendar, because we're done paying late fees.
Come on, girl. Ooh, I hate late fees.
Look, this is how anal I got, and my husband was like, this can't be real life. So if we pay the water bill late, it's $5. 5 times 12 is 60. Correct. My average water bill is about $70 a month. Water and sewer about $70 a month. That's a month's bill. So why am I paying? Why am I paying this late?
Hello.
There's no reason for me to pay this late, right?
Yeah.
If you we got to get out of that mindset. Well, I don't have it all today. Well, if I ain't got it all, I might as well just spend what I got and figure it out later. No, we're not doing that. You're gonna save what you got until you get the other half and pay these people their money.
Yeah.
There's no more I'm going to spend it because I don't have all of it.
Yeah.
right? There's no more, if I can't save $100, I won't save $10. No, you're gonna start saving $10 a week in March. By June, you're gonna be able to save $25 a week. Put yourself into a position where and where you can steadily work towards the goal. If you have big goals, break them down into micro goals, right? Money goals, because sometimes we set it so big, and again, I say it again, I'm going to save 5,000 this year. $5,000 seems like so much money, but
Yeah.
$100 doesn't. When you're thinking about saving, it's like, oh, I can save $25 a week, and I can save, and that's $100 a month.
Yeah.
And you start saying, well, I got to save $5,000 a year. How am I going to do that?
Break it down to smaller goals. Yeah.
Yeah. But I encourage you, even though it's 12 months, break it down into something smaller.
Yeah.
So that you get into the habit of actually doing it. Mindset, stop seeing too much and stay home.
Stay from outside. Stay from outside. Y'all outside.
Yeah, I went outside yesterday. What was yesterday? It was Wednesday. It was the day before my daughter's birthday. It cost me $300 to go outside for an hour and 30 minutes.
Listen.
So I stay inside. But seriously, and then look at where you're spending your money. Convenience. We have gotten very spoiled with convenience and the price that we pay for convenience. Now, I love Instacart, but once you look at all the stuff they're trying to charge you,
girl, listen.
When you look at all the fees, but we got really comfortable with that, where I don't have to leave my house. Somebody's gonna pick up my groceries for me, bag them, and bring them to me. I'll pay. But the last time I looked at it, I was like, I could save $30 if we just order it, have them get everything, and we walk in there and pick it up. So just paying attention to the little things. We really think that it's the big things that are hurting us money wise, but it's not. It's the little things that sink the ship, because they're the things that add up. Oh, this was only $10. That was only $10. That was only $12, but you're not using it. But it's coming, like you're paying for it every single month, or you're just wasting it, or you let your kids have access to your financials, and then to your debit cards or your credit cards, and you don't pay attention. I'm speaking from experience. My kid is off at college, and I was like, why is there a Chick-fil-A charge on my platinum card? Because you use the gold card for restaurants. And I just text him. I was like, do you have my card on your app? He's like, yeah, I used it when I was home for Christmas. Delete it, please.
Right.
Delete it. A lot of the times we get into this thing of, well, I didn't have it when I was growing up, so I want to make sure that my children have it. Now, I want to tell you, don't ruin your life and your children by doing that. Don't ruin your finances by doing that. There is nothing that I am saying to anyone here that I am excusing from my life, because I had to bring my kids back and said that y'all walk around like y'all spend money like y'all sell drugs. You got to pull it back. You got to pull it back. But my older kid reminded me, they're only spending it because you give it to them. Life check. Check.
Making it easy. Yeah. You're right.
Life check. So there are just so many things. It's like you see too much. I didn't have it when I was growing up, so I want to have it all now. Yeah. I want to give my kids more than what I have, or I want to make sure that I can keep up with the Joneses. That ain't really the Joneses, they're the girls, because they ain't really got it. They just want you to think they got it. So what I need you to do is live in your true money story and work towards your true money goals. Understand exactly what's coming in your house and what's going out of, and what needs to go out of your house within reason. That way you're able to create a plan. I used to have this thing when I said everyone needs to have at least $1,000 at all times, at least $1,000. So if there's anyone listening right now, I challenge you to save $1,000 in the next 30 days. The next 90 days.
Let's do it, y'all. How much is that a week? 30. Let's go ahead and break that down. Let people.
It's basically 12 weeks, right? That's like $83.
Come on, y'all. We can do it.
$83. If your income is a little smaller, then shoot for $500. Yep, the mindset of I didn't have growing up. That's one I think that plagues a lot of people. It's either going to do two things. It's going to make you hoard your money, or it's going to make you spend all of your money. And when we take those same habits into our marriages, it could really cause a problem.
Yeah.
My husband and I, we grew up in two different home environments. For me, it was, the living on government assistance, and, you got what you got. For him, it was just do it and worry about it later. So us clashing, it was like, okay, you got the safe person and you got the risk taker.
Yeah.
How do you find the median?
Yeah. That's good. And you got to realize, like, what do we want? What do we want for our life in general? And getting back to the behaviors and mindsets that are counterproductive to what you say you want. If you say you want a $200,000 house, but your debt to income ratio, your debt is too high to your income ratio, you can't get that $200,000 house. They're not going to approve you for that. So what habits do you need to break? What things you need to do differently so that you can obtain the goal, the whatever goals you're trying to achieve in your life. I wanted to say a few things. I want to go back to some of the things that you said. That's why I wrote it in the chat here. That first thing you said, girl, you would say we see too much. That is so, so, so true. We live in a world right now where you see everybody's life. And to your point, Vanessa, you have no idea how these people are affording these things. Yeah, you see people riding around in Bentleys and Mag 5s and all of that, but they probably can't get gas. These people probably don't have $20 in the bank. They're probably putting gas on a credit card and not paying it off at the end of the month. And I'm not saying that's everybody's story, but that's a lot of people's story, to be very honest with you. You see them having Louis Vuitton bags and all of these things, but you don't know what these people did. They could be using paying 4, paying 6 financing options. They have all types of things nowadays. So don't allow yourself to be moved by what other people are doing. Stay in your money lane. And I like when you said early on, Vanessa, you were talking about your harvesting, you harvest. I think that's a good attribute to have as a woman, to be able to store up the money from when you need it. So even if you want to buy that Louis bag, hey, by all means, because I think I'm going to invest in one at some point. One of the nice bags, just to have one, because I know that they last like forever. So if that's the case, if that bag is $2,000, save up for it 6 to 8 months. So it's just for that bag. Have a miscellaneous account. Say, this is for my bag or my whatever, and put that in your account. So when that 8 months come, you won't feel like you're taking away from your other savings and from the household and things of that nature, because you strategically saved up for this particular thing. Just because you have it, that doesn't mean you can get it, or you should get it.
I want to share with you, when I bought my first designer bag, this is the deal with me buying designer bags.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't have that amount of money in liquid cash, then I can't buy the bag. What I look like walking around with a bag that costs more than the money I got in the bank. That's
That's a good concept, but a lot of people don't have that mindset.
Yeah.
And they're walking around. That's a good concept. Listen, that's gonna be me. I'm gonna save up for my bag, because I'm not gonna be walking around with no $3,000 bag and I only got $500 in the bank. That's be off here. We don't want to wear our money. We don't want to have more money. I forget who said this, but they said basically you don't want to have more money on your back than you have in your bank, right? And you talked about that Instacart, girl. I did an Instacart order the other day. I was so upset because I spent $60 and I had one brown bag of items. I'm like, this was $60? Like, what did I get? It is those things, conveniences, and it's okay sometimes, but it shouldn't be our life. It should be the exception and not the rule. I was going to get a cleaning lady, to be very honest with you, because I didn't want to clean. It's just me and my husband. I really did not need a person. And then every time she would come or was scheduled to come, something would come up and then she couldn't come. And the Lord just had to remind me, like, listen, you guys are barely there. You travel a lot. Why are you going to have someone come and clean 3 rooms that y'all stay in in the entire house? Clean up, girl. Right? You get in there and do your own cleaning. You don't need to pay somebody to come in and clean a house where you and your husband only literally in 3 rooms in the house, in the bathroom. Come on.
For me, because it's my busy season, I invested in a cleaning service, but that also meant that I need to do a trade-off. Somewhere in my budget. And it was, okay, if this is my busy season, obviously I'm not going to be outside as much. So we're not going to be eating out as much. That was my trade-off. To cut down on our eating out. and then being able to hire the actual person to come in, because again, that peace of mind, again, this money is affording me less stress
Yeah.
and a peace of mind. So when we think about it, some in some cases, like you said, like why am I spending money doing this when it's only the three of us, only the two of us here in 3 rooms? For me, it's that I'm working long hours. And I don't want my husband talking to me about why I didn't do something. So just let me shift my, slide this budget around so I can get somebody to take care of that. So money is actually taking care of that person coming in to relieve the stress. And it's also bringing peace in my household.
There you go.
So
moving around to make it work. I like that concept though, the trade-off. That's a good concept to have and a mindset to have. And many people don't have it. They're like, well, I'm just going to get a person because I don't want to do it. No, but if you get the person, like you said, let's do a trade-off. What are we going to spend less on so that we can have this person come in and it won't seem as if we're spending extra money, but we're ultimately saving. And there is an ultimate benefit because you work long hours. It is stressful. And you want to make sure that you provide a clean household, not just for your husband and children, but for you. Work hard. You want to be able to relax and have a nice, clean space. I love it. Move it around and make it work. Ooh, this is a good conversation. I did want you all I wrote something in here a long time ago. I was trying to find it about you talking about some of your fears. I did want you all to list a couple of your fears concerning money. I want you to list, put it in the chat for me. What are some of your fears concerning money? I would never have enough. I would never make enough. I don't want to spend too much. I'll lose my job. What are some of your fears around money? I want you to list that because we want to break that on tonight. I probably may even say a prayer. I don't know if the Lord would lead me to say that, but I may even say a prayer as we end because we're about to end just in a few minutes here. We're going a little longer than normal, but it's a good conversation. Really good conversation. So as we're ending, Vanessa, I want you to give everyone just like 2 principles of something they can do like immediately. You've given so much already. So even if it's something repeated that we have to repeat, that's fine. But just 2 principles you can give everyone of how they can experience a breakthrough in their money, like almost immediately. What are like 2 things that these women can do right now to experience a breakthrough, even if that's a mindset breakthrough? Some of these women probably have, tens of thousands of dollars in the bank. So having the money is not an issue. But there may be some other issues as surrounding money that they need a breakthrough in. So what are like 1 or 2 things you can share?
Okay, so I'm definitely going to say more than 1 or 2 things, but everybody catch it, right?
I'm going to try to write. So when you see me doing this, I'm typing.
Okay. The first thing I want you to do is get comfortable with your money. Get comfortable with your money, and if you aren't currently working outside of the home, get comfortable with the idea of generating income to bring into your household. The second thing I want you to do is be honest with your money situation. Even if it's not ideal of where you want to be now, nothing gets better until we walk in our truth. 3, I need you to create a plan for your money. No one likes the word budget. Budget sounds like it's such a restrictive thing to do. So I want you to create a spending plan, because see, the spending plan gives me permission to spend.
Yeah.
Right. So you get to break down your money. It's the same thing as budget. We're just gonna call it something else so we feel good, because money helps us feel.
Yeah.
So we're going to create a relationship with our money. We're going to be honest with our money. We're also going to create a spending plan with our money. And if you already have some cash or you already have some income, you have things coming in, go back and look at it and make sure that it's working for you, that it's doing the things that you needed to do. Go back and diversify it. Decide, how you need to pay off your debt or what you're going to be saving your funds for. And ultimately have the money talk with your spouse, your soon-to-be spouse, because talking about money openly in the relationship helps. Whether you're bringing in the money or you're not bringing in the money, you help create the plan on how the money is being spent. So you want to make sure that you're still and always having a reserved shelter for your family and for yourself. I want you to have a personal financial identity in your marriage so that you feel healthy and good about what you bring to the table.
Money, that identity thing is key. Let me put that down. Establishing
I know I went down a list. I mean, it felt
Oh,
like 20.
listen, I think I got you, girl, and I'm gonna put it up here on the comments, so I'll raise them here. But that identity is so key. Like identifying where you are, who you are as it relates to money, your money goals, and knowing that you are individual. Yes, you're married. Yes, you're in a committed relationship, but you are also an individual. And I think sometimes that gets missed, and you try to just simply coexist with this other person. Some people did list some of their fears, so I do want to just put that up real quick. Not having enough. What was it? See too much. Karen talked about Klarna. Listen, that Klarna Afterpay, that's the devil. Oh my gosh, we just had this conversation in our group. Help us to be good stewards over our finances, thanking God in advance. Amen. Fear, moving around. Okay, fear, not having enough. Oh, she tagged somebody. Oh, that's all I got. Okay, yeah. I thought I had more than that. Listen, y'all. Woo! This has been a good conversation. I am thoroughly enjoying it. Great conversation. Appreciate this. Yes, Gabby. I'm really enjoying it. I know we got time is well spent and we got to go. I want to definitely, you'll see more of Vanessa. You're in the Wives Who Win group, right?
I am.
Yeah, I need to get some folks to just, do more in that community because it's not my group. I want people to feel comfortable and sharing and doing things inside of that group because I want to help the masses of women to be fulfilled in their money, their mindset, and also their marriage. It's not just about marriage, it's your mindset, your marriage, and your money. I want every wife and waiting in that community to have autonomy in that area. So, Vanessa, tell everybody, do you have any events or anything coming up, any online, virtual, or in person things that people can possibly come to or support, and then tell everybody how they can stay in contact with you, reach out to you if need be, or want to continue the conversation, even hire you. I don't know if you do personal accounting anymore. I know you do businesses and things of that nature, but you can share.
Yeah. So you can find me on Facebook as Vanessa Gant, the Money Architect. I am on IG as I am the Money Architect. And I do not, well, I would say this. So my primary focus on my accounting services are with businesses. Personal finance has always been my love talk, my love tug. I'm sure that Cheryl and I will have a conversation after this and we'll see what we can bring to the group maybe once a month or at least once a quarter so we can talk to everyone, about their money mindsets. Look, unfortunately, but fortunately, I have nothing coming up because I'm resting this year.
Listen, you deserve it, girl. You've been working hard. You've been working
hard. I am resting this year, but I will definitely always be a resource to everyone that's inside of the group or associated with the community. So at any time, feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. If I can help, I will definitely help. But I am looking forward to coming back and, having this conversation again.
Absolutely. Listen, and make sure you're part of the Wives Who Win group on Facebook. We have over 3,000 women that are part of that community, and I'm going to be doing some more in there because I don't want what has happened in the past. Unfortunately, it seemed like everything rested on me, but the group is not about me. It's about all of us. So I want to make sure that I'm utilizing resources like Vanessa and Constance and Khadijah and many other women that I have great relationships with to come in and do segments on their own, to get in the group and say, listen, y'all, we need to talk about this today. I don't have to be present. They can just go in and go live or share resources and just really be a resource for the woman in that group. So listen, all you ladies said that you're going to save $1,000 in 90 days. I want some accountability. I want you to be able to don't show me a bank statement, but I want to see that $1,000 that's in that account. And I would encourage you to get an account that you do not have access to, but you can put, you can do a direct deposit to, and you can, it's very hard for you to get to. So you don't have a card to that account. There's not a local bank for that account. You would literally have to call and wait days if you needed money transferred. So look into that. I got an account with SoFi. I was able to get a checking and because you have to give both. So I just put like $25 in the check-in, and then I put the substantial amount in the savings, and that goes directly from my when I get paid, it goes directly there. So I don't even see that money. And I would encourage you to do something like that. And that will also cause you to resist spending because it's not there. Your check is $1,000 shorter than what it was. So that it really puts you in the mindset of, okay, I can't do this week. Even my nails, like I haven't even got these done yet. I'm like, should I take them off or should I just wait? Contacts. I haven't even bought my contacts yet. But it's not a necessity. My glasses are a necessity. Let me just share this right quick, Vanessa. My glasses are a necessity, but my contacts are not. And my contacts are $100. And I'm like, do I really want to spend that $100, or can I just wear my contacts, or can I really wear my glasses for the next couple of weeks and then get the contacts later on? It's those type of decisions that I'm having to make right now, that I'm choosing to make right now. Because before I'm like, I'm getting my contacts because I don't want to wear glasses. I'm like, no, you know what, Trail? You're going to hold off on those contacts. So you're going to wait for those contacts. You're going to ride those nails out for another week. So those type of decisions, because I'm very cognizant, every time I'm spending on money on something that's not contributing to the household, it's like I'm taking away from the household. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that person. So listen, this has been great. Thank you so much, Vanessa. I really, truly appreciate you all. I appreciate everyone here for connecting. Gabby said her fear was making a big financial decision that doesn't work out. A lot of prayer and a lot of wisdom. With that, Gabby, I would say pray and consult wise counsel, and make sure that's something that's going to get a return on your investment. You can't guarantee it because the return may require you doing some work, right? And how we said earlier, if it's a big financial decision, see if you can save up just for that and then invest in whatever that thing is, and then do the work to get the return on the investment. So there are a number of things that you can do to make sure that you won't feel guilty. You won't have that guilt behind spending that money. Check your plumbing too, to make sure you don't have leaks. Come on, save all the coins. Save all the coins. So thank you, Vanessa. Again, thank you all. Make sure you connect with Vanessa. Make sure you go to Facebook and you are part of the Wives Who Win group. If you just put in Wives Who Win, you will see the group there. Get connected with the group. Again, we have over 3,000 ladies that are there. I want you also to be there so you can know what's happening in the community overall, and so that you can win in your money, your mindset, and your marriage. Good night, everybody. Thank you, Vanessa. I appreciate you. All righty. Bye, all.